Hey y'all, so I hope y'all are doing well in this quarantine and coronavirus time, and I thought of this really fun video that I guess kind of relates to it. And I know y'all have heard about David versus Goliath, and that's definitely one of my favorite stories about or in the Bible, and so I thought I would touch up a little bit on it and one of the many lessons that we can get from it. And it's definitely one that we can think about all the time and just remember about this story and what we could do that relates to this story. So basically, at the beginning of the story, in 1 Samuel 17:4, it explains, "Then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. Evil. He was over 9 feet tall. He wore a bronze helmet, and his bronze coat of mail weighed 125 pounds. He also wore bronze leg armor, and he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. The shaft of his spear was as heavy and thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with an iron spearhead that weighed 15 pounds. His armor bearer walked ahead of him carrying a shield." I don't know why that is such a mouthful for me. I cannot say that. But anyways, that's basically a description of Goliath. Like, who wouldn't be afraid of a 9-foot tall man just walking down the street? Like, if you saw him, what would be your reaction? I mean, I would want to run away. I wouldn't want to go up against to fight that guy. Like, no one wants to. And so this is what he said to the Israelites. "I am the Philistine champion, but you are the only servants of Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. I defy the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me." When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. So yeah, obviously you'd be terrified and deeply shaken. Like, as I was saying, like, who wouldn't be scared of this 9-foot tall guy carrying 125 pounds of armor? Like, no one would want to go up against that guy. So then it goes on in verse 14 to describe David. "He was a son of Jesse with 2 older brothers." So this is the description of David in verse 14. "David was the youngest son. David's 3 oldest brothers stayed with Saul's army, but David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sheep in Bethlehem." And then it goes on, and he approaches Saul. David does, and he says, like, "I got this. I've got God behind my back. Like, I take care of my father's sheep every day, and I conquer bears and lions that try to attack them. Why couldn't I attack this man?" And so he said, and Saul says to David, "Don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth." And then David goes on and says, like, "No, I got this. Like, there's no way. I can't do this with God behind my side. And even if it doesn't work, like, it'll all work together." Like, this is basically what he was saying. And then in verse 40, it says, "He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine." So David, with 5 stones from this stream and then a sling in a bag, was going up to hopefully conquer this guy that's 9 feet tall with 125 pounds of armor. Like, I don't know how he was so confident, but obviously the answer is God. Like, if anybody who asked him, he would just be like, "Yeah, I've got God. Like, there's nothing to be scared of." In his mind, there was no way that he couldn't do this without God, and that's how we should all approach everything. Like, there's no way we can't do this without God, and I'll get into that later. And then in verse 46, it says, "Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there's a God in Israel." So that was David actually talking to Goliath and saying, like, "I will conquer you. I will feed you to the animals of Israel, and like, everything will be good because I will conquer you, and then there'll be no problem, and everyone will know of the God." Because obviously if he killed him, like, there was no way he could do it without someone else helping him. So it then goes on, and David grabs his sling, grabs a smooth little stone, and just shoots it at Goliath's head and kills him. And then he goes off, cuts his head. It's very crazy to think about that this actually happened, but it obviously happened, and he was so confident, not only in himself, but he was confident in himself because he had God. Like, there's no way in his mind that he couldn't have conquered him without God. He came from so little, but had so much, not from the outside, but from the inside and from his heart, mind, and soul, because he had God. He had God, and he had total confidence in him. Think about it. David came from a city of Bethlehem with 3 older brothers, and then he was one that just went back and forth every day to take care of his father's sheep. But compared to Goliath, he's been fighting in wars ever since his youth. And basically, this is how we should take life. Like, even in this, like, coronavirus time, like, this should be our chance. Like, we have God. We can tell everyone about him. We can tell him that we can conquer this. We can conquer whatever the world is going through, whether it's in school, with our friends, in this virus time, in our sports. Like, we can go up against anyone because we have God. Our army and our strength is from God, and how could we not, like, share that with other people, and how could we not be so confident to go up against these things because we have God? And so I think that's just what we all need to realize. Like, our strength and our armor is God, and us Christians, like, we have so much in the world that's so different from us. Like, there's friends at school, and we go to school every day. I mean, not anymore, but we will soon. And, like, it's just so crazy. Like, we go through this every day. We see Goliath every day in our life, and we are the Davids, and we are supposed to be totally confident in the Lord. And I know I've definitely gotten better at it, especially in this YouTube, and, like, be more open with my faith. And I'm not saying, like, y'all need to be like, God is amazing, because that's just not how to approach people. But saying, like in your sports, if you win this game and, like, y'all were the underdogs, like, well, I did it with God. Like, I don't know why this video is so all over the place, but I just can't seem to get my words right, as y'all just saw. But I stumbled upon 2 Samuel 22:31, and it says, "As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord proves true. He is a shield for all those who take refuge in him." So this basically sums up the whole video. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord proves true. So his Bible, he proves true. Everything he says, like, you can do all things through him. And so that's basically saying, like, if you have full trust in him, which we all need to every single day, like, we can do anything. We can conquer anything, and we can be the champions and but we have to make sure we give all glory to him. If something happens where it's like, whoa, how did you do that? Like, God, like, he gave me the strength. He gave me my body. He gave me my legs. Like, how could we not believe that he did this all for us? Like, it's so crazy. And then he is a shield for all those who take refuge in him. So he is our shield. He is our army. If we take refuge in him and we have full confidence in him, he will be our shield. And so it's just so crazy to think. And I just want all of us to leave with that. 2 Samuel 22:31. If we take refuge in him, he will be our full strength. And we can take that out of the David versus Goliath story, in that, like, David came from so little but had so much in his heart, and no one believed in him, but he proved everyone true, and he proved that there was a God, and that God was his army and his strength. Especially in this time, like, we can be the light, and we could share what we could do when we have God by our sides, because how could we not share his goodness and his strength, and that what he could do in us? And all the people that don't know him or are weary about him and, like, don't know if it's true or not, like, we could share his light, and we could be the light. And especially in this time, like, we can overcome this if we just read his word, and everything comes together for the good. And I really think this time is just to get stronger in his word. And so whenever this comes, all of this goes back to normal. Like, we will be so rooted in the word that nothing can conquer us, because we'll be so confident in him. So I really hope this video did something for y'all, and it's just like an idea that I had, and I think that story is just so powerful, especially just what I explained. And I hope y'all are doing well, and I know this video might have been all over the place. I know it was, because I just want to get the story right, and I want to get my words out right. And so, yeah, please share this with your friends. even if it's one friend, like, I know so much could do so little, and like, if someone really needs this right now, please send this to them, and I know we can all be a light in someone's life today. I have a really, really good video coming up that I'm really looking forward to, and I know y'all are really gonna like it, and so please subscribe and please share with your friends, because I know a little can go a long way. So I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!